And we are back again with a brand new episode of Another 24. I am your incredibly handsome host, Taurus Montez, and today I have a very special guest in the building. Now, this guest is the co-founder of Lyftd Clothing. I have Malcolm Sawyer, a.k.a. Neuro the Genius, in the building. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, it's kind of far.
Uh-huh.
Now, I got to ask you, man, you a clothing guy, man. What you got on today, man? What we doing?
Oh, I mean, today I just kind of came really casual. You know, it's raining outside, like pretty hard and pretty cold. So I just threw on, the Nike Air Max Classics. I did not know my feet would be in the shot. So I wore my quarter cut socks or my crew cut socks, but I should have definitely wore longer socks. And then, just some camo oversized joints I got from Urban Outfitters. Cardigan I also got from Urban Outfitters. And of course, I'm repping Lyftd Clothing Company, our signature large text logo tee.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, look good, man. I mean, I wish I had the fashion sense. I just got the two-piece. It's easy for me.
No, that's cool, though. Yeah, that's your brand, isn't it?
No, it ain't my brand, but yeah, we can, I'll steal it, though.
Yeah, nice.
It's mine now.
Nice, right, yeah.
Now, Lyftd Clothing, man. What was the moment that you decided, you know what, this needs to exist? How did that start?
Wow, that's an interesting question that prompts an interesting story. I mean, so a lot of people who know about Lyftd know Lyftd has been around for 14 years at this point. I started in high school, and it's so interesting because back then I was just kind of creating stuff. Like there was no fear, there was no doubt, there was no responsibilities outside of just making t-shirts, right? And so back in high school, when I had an idea for a tattoo, I had an idea for an image of a brain with wings, and then I had my friend draw out the tattoo, and I showed it to some of my other friends, and they liked it, and they were considering getting a tattoo, and I was like, that's not really how that works. Like, it's my tattoo.
Right.
So, but since so many people resonated with the image, I took the money from the tattoo and put it into our first box of t-shirts, and then those sold out really quickly. And then so from there, it was more just about meeting demand, just making t-shirts to sell to the people who asked for them, making them in different colors and sizes. Right. And then, 14 years later, I just can't get away from it. Now we've more so evolved from being a t-shirt company to a community wellness brand. And so the mission and drive behind is a little bit different. And there's a bunch of things that happened within that 14 years, which we have plenty of time to talk about. But yeah, I mean, that's where it started, is seeing that image of the brain with wings and seeing how people gravitated towards it and putting it on t-shirts and just kind of running from there.
Got you. So, logos are important. A lot of times when people start a company, the first thing they do is the logo, So why did that image of the brain with wings, how did that come about, and why did that resonate with you so much?
Yeah, so the brain with wings for me, it's something that's been with me since I was a kid. Like, I used to just kind of daydream and just kind of imagine that I was somewhere where I was not, right? Especially when I got bored, long car rides in school, sometimes at church, things like that. And so when I got the picture drawn up for the tattoo, it was for me representing this is a part of my inner child, like that imagination that I have. I want to carry this into the next stage of my life and really throughout all of my life. And so, as time evolved and as I matured looking at that logo with the brain with wings, I recognize now, or we believe that the brain represents knowledge and wisdom, and the wings represents creativity and intuition. And when you put them together, you can get lifted, right? You can transcend new planes. Gotcha. And so that's what that logo represents, and that's why it's so important to us.
Got you. Okay, when your brain transcends, a lot of people, I'm not gonna lie, not that anything's wrong with it. When I think of getting lifted, I think of smoking, getting high, or stuff like that. When you think of transcending this plane, a lot of times we think of psychedelics and stuff like that. Do people misrepresent your brand or have any misconceptions of your brand tying those two things together?
I don't know what people think before they see the brand or when they first see the brand. I think that we as a company do a really good job of communicating what our purpose is.
Right.
and not only communicating that but executing on that purpose. So the things like the yoga in the park, Pilates and painting, our creative visualization workshop, and all of those are family friendly and mission focused, community driven. The people who may look at the brand, that may be their first thought, but once you get engaged in the brand and you start following us, it becomes pretty clear what our purpose and mission is.
Gotcha. And I know part of you guys' mission is inspiration, connection, creativity. So what do those three individual things mean to you, and why was it important to bring those three things together?
So you said inspiration, community, connection, community, creativity. Those three things.
Yeah, inspiration, connection, creativity. These are like, three of the things that seems like your brand kind of pushes and is, trying to communicate to, you guys as consumers. Why are those three things important? Inspiration, connection, creativity.
Yeah, so we talked about the brain with wings. The brain represents knowledge and wisdom. The wings represents creativity and intuition. When you put them together, you get lifted. And then now, as we are evolving into a community wellness brand, really our mission has become to empower our wearers to empower themselves through curiosity and then empower others through creativity, right? And so if you're empowering yourself through curiosity and learning more things about yourself and the world around you, and then you're connecting with others via conversation, dialogue, other forms of collaboration, whether it be some type of group project or something like that, then that's where you begin to inspire and enlighten others, and then you all kind of rub off on one another in a sense. And so, a part of growth is connecting to others who can inspire new ideas.
Right. And it's very hard to accomplish big things alone. Like you need connection.
That's right.
And that's definitely something that, me being an entrepreneur, starting out doing everything on your own, you kind of realize that after a while you can't do it all.
Yeah.
You need help.
Absolutely.
That's what the human race is for, is just to connect. But there's so many things that divide us.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to hear that, a part of you guys' mission is to connect people and make sure that we're together, because it's hard to do, man.
Well, another part of it too is, as we evolve as a society here in America, it seems like there are more tools that are being built to not necessarily divide us, but to take out that human connection or replace human connection. And then when you look at like depression and anxiety numbers, I would imagine that there's some type of connection between the fact that we are in theory less connected, even though we feel more connected because you can sit on your couch and watch what all your friends are doing. But that's not really connection, because you're not talking to them. That's not a dialogue. You're just consuming content. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it a lot of times can be junk. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that there's anything bad with it, but I think that we would all benefit from more balance. And that's another reason why, like when pandemic happened, we did a couple of virtual yoga sessions, but we didn't really want to do online discussion series. Like we like our in-person discussion series, our meeting of the minds, because there's just something different about that energy in person. And then my favorite thing is after we have an event, you have your people who are just kind of lingering around for 20 minutes to an hour afterwards. That lets you know that the energy in that room is like real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So the connection piece is very important to us, but also, I mean, it to me, it feels like it can be a bit of a differentiator, because we're really focused on building an in-person community rather than an online community.
Yeah, the online thing, I mean, with social media in general, inherently it's not a good or bad thing, right?
Yeah.
It's a tool.
Right.
But then when you're using that tool for evil, like I seen, I was on Instagram, I seen one of my homies post something. He started out, man, oh y'all bitches. I'm like, see nah.
Yeah,
this is why this is the division.
We don't need that energy.
We don't need that energy, man. But yeah, it's a tool. So anyway, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. Now, on the surface level, we understand what that means. But what does that message really mean to you, and why is that associated so much with the brand?
I mean, if you think about everything that we're surrounded by, every single thing that exists in our reality here in America, it came from an idea of someone. It was an idea. And then they put action behind the idea. So if people stop thinking, if people stop creating, then what happens to society? Do we stop evolving? My thought is And then also these people who created these things were not like supernatural. They weren't human. I mean, they weren't like superhuman people. They were just normal people who were driven, who had an idea, who were curious. And so the mind's a terrible thing to waste is recognizing that no matter where you're from, like your background, your economic background, race, nationality, geographic location, any of that, it doesn't really matter. If you have an idea, go for it, because you really don't know how it can impact the world. For better or for worse, and you don't know what you will become in the process, right? Of trying to build the thing, because a lot of the times, that's where the real value is. Are you familiar with The Alchemist, the book The Alchemist? So the whole point of that book, spoiler alert, I mean, it's been out for forever now,
30, 40
but
years.
spoiler alert, and I would still advise watching the movie or reading the book. But you learn, or I learned from that book, that the journey is the prize. The journey is the treasure. Who you become along the journey is the treasure. And the bottom line is, past, present, future, the only thing that you experience is the moment. And that is the journey. And so the victories, the losses, those are only moments, but the building process is a sequence of moments that you can learn from, grow from, and then continue to push connections with.
Yeah, you ever seen Slumdog Millionaire?
Of course.
Yeah, it's kind of the same deal. It's like everything was pertaining to his life, and it's like, dang. You know, it didn't make sense until the end when he looked back and it's like, oh, okay, this was all happening for me.
And that's the thing. It's like that's like that Chinese proverb where the man says, "Who knows what's good or bad?" Like you really don't know. Like you're really just labeling events that are happening. But as long as I'm here and I'm breathing and I can think and I can move around, then I'm free.
Right. Facts. Now, I mean, of course, I understand why wellness, yoga, physical fitness is important. But why is that so important to you? Was there any, moments growing up where you weren't as physically fit? Do you know people who, kind of, let things fall by the wayside health-wise, and now that's become part of your mission? Where did that piece come from?
The fitness, the wellness piece? Because when we think about wellness, like it's not just fitness, it's overall wellness, like well-being, like feeling good. You know what I'm saying? And you're not going to feel good all the time, but even in those times where you're feeling down, there's still a level of separation or awareness that, okay, this will pass as well, being in the moment. But the wellness piece for me was important and is important, is because I grew up with a mother who lives with bipolar disorder. And so one of the things that I witnessed growing up was her taking that experience and publishing a book. And she published the book and went on tour and gave speeches and went to conferences and was on BET and all of these cool things. Ended up with a radio show here in Atlanta, which was very cool. But watching her live with that diagnosis and then still be committed to sharing the story so that it can empower others was very inspiring. Right. But then, on the other side of that, there were just things that I saw that, just kind of hurt me to see my mom experiencing, and there's nothing I can do to help. And so that prompted a curiosity for mental health, period. Like and I'm not a doctor, so I don't want anyone to take any advice, medical advice from me. But my thought at that time was, I see my mom is taking this medicine and it still just doesn't seem to be working. What's that about? You know what I'm saying? Right. And so then I got just curious about mental health, mental wellness, all of that. Like all of that curiosity started at 18. So I'm like reading books about psychology, emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and then now I specifically read stuff about brains, and that's why my DJ name is Neuro, and the logo is the brain with wings. And so really both brands for me is an opportunity to express some of the things that I've learned on that journey, in hopes that it help people who are dealing with any type of mental health. I don't want to say issues, because it's not something that's in people's controls. It's brain chemistry. Right. I think the other part of it too, again, I'm not a doctor, is we live in a society where we kind of have to conform and be a part of the machine so that the machine can produce whatever it needs to produce. And if you are in a state to where you cannot perform for the machine, then they want to diagnose you and give you medicine so that you can perform for the machine. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, probably deeper than we're looking to get to today. But bottom line is, what I found through all of my research and my own personal experience is, and that's another thing too, a lot of the things that we do through Lyftd and that I do through my DJ brand are things that work for me. So it's just going back to creating to inspire others, right? And so I've learned that I'm at optimal state when I work out every day, when I'm eating well, when I meditate. All of those things have helped me navigate challenges in my own personal life and still be able to show up. And then all of those things inspire and empower me to continue to push.
Gotcha. So I wanna pinpoint on something you said. You said that, you know, you were watching your mother struggle with her bipolar, and you realized that there was times where there's nothing that you could do about it, right? You're powerless in that situation.
Yeah.
So how do you think that affected you and your mental wellness? Do you think that had any impact on, you know, your mental wellness at that point?
When I was a teenager? I don't think... Let me think about that. That's a good question.
Because I know for me, you know, my mother had her own thing that she was struggling with. Yeah. And I used to be like, you know, dang, man, ain't nothing I can do about it. So it used to make me feel like, you know, in some situations, I'm just, not that it's true, of course, but this is just a feeling, but I don't have any control, or I'm powerless in some situations, and sometimes that can seep out to other parts of your life. Yeah. And I really had to do a lot of work and be like, you know what? Some things I can't control, some things I can't control, but the things that I can control, I'm going to control them. Yeah. And I think that's another side of trauma too. Yeah. But I think that's how it affected me.
Yeah, you know, I don't know if I've thought too deeply about how it's affected me, because like I said, like for me, everything kind of goes in and then comes out as energy. And it can be negative energy or positive energy. And of course, there are blind spots that I have about myself. Right, so if you ask friends or exes, they may say whatever.
Yeah, where the exes at? We need to get them on the show,
no,
man.
No, you don't. Absolutely not. But no, I think honestly, feeling, I don't know if it necessarily, the only impact I can think is that at that time, I still had my own things going on in life. Like, you know, I was involved in school and things like that. And so, and I was encouraged by my family and even my mom to just kind of live my life. And so I think how that impacted me later in life is, more recently, is, you know, when people are going through things, sometimes I kind of withdraw, or if I'm going through something, I withdraw within. And kind of just, you know, I don't want to say leave people hanging, but my habit at some point became to withdraw and either, you know, get lost in work or distract myself with some type of project or something. That's something that I'm working out of. But yeah, I think if I think about how that impacted me, I think that's probably the biggest thing. It's just like, I at some point learned to withdraw within when things got uncomfortable. That's going back to Lyftd too, though, right? Like that's just me getting lifted, like me escaping reality with my imagination. Above, exactly. But no, that was a good question. I hadn't connected that. That's something interesting to journal about later.
Yeah, man. A lot of shit is heavy, man. Yeah. And you know, we deal with our own shit. It's like we trying to just keep the pieces together. Like, I'm Humpty Dumpty trying to take myself together, and then here you come with your shit. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, and you know, a lot of as men, you know, being, you know, providers and being, you know, the one that people depend on, it's like, God dang, man, I got to carry this weight too. But, you know, I guess we better for it. That's our
what
role.
we go to the gym for.
Oh, yeah.
That's the whole wellness, all of that is to ensure that we have the capacity and the strength to carry. Because, I mean, women do it too. Like, we all have our shit that we have to carry. But that's also why it's important to prioritize your wellness. And also, you know, I truly understand and can empathize with people who are in positions where their whole 24 hours is devoted to surviving. You know what I mean? Like going to work to put food on the table, to make sure that electricity stays on. You don't have time for wellness. Like that wellness is a luxury, unfortunately.
Exactly.
That's something that I'm passionate about as well, and something that I hope to address with Lyftd at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like you said, we neglect our own wellness. And then by the time, the effects of it, by the time we notice the effects of it or feel it, it's too late,
Yeah.
Our brains crack, and it's like, dang, now we got to go through another 5 years of rebuilding it, and then just to get back to zero and then try to go up. You know what I mean? So
yeah, well, I mean, that's why the work that we do with Lyftd and the things that I express with my DJing is so important to me too, because my hope is that this gives you tools. Like if you feel yourself starting to crack before you get to that point, this is giving you some tools to revitalize yourself. That's why we do the meeting of the minds. That's why we do the Bring Your Own Brain Creative Visualization workshop at the beginning of the year. The next one will be on January 11th. I'm not sure when you're dropping this, but January 11th, 2026, we're doing a Bring Your Own Brain Creative Visualization workshop.
All right. So we talked a lot about, mental health. What do you think is like some of the biggest mental blocks that our young people face today? We talked about social media, of course. I think that's one.
When you say young people, you mean,
let's say
Gen Z, Gen Alpha?
Let's say 18 to 30.
Okay.
35, 18 to 35, somewhere in there.
Dang, bro. Like that's funny because that's 3 generations. And in those 3 generations, our generation is the oldest one. It's just
yeah. We're getting old, man.
So another thing is interesting, and I'm gonna answer your question, but another thing that's really interesting to me is recognizing, you remember like there was a period where like every article that came out in the news and newspaper and magazines was about millennials.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now it's about Gen Z and Gen Alpha, bro. They don't care about millennials no more.
Right.
We done aged out of the news cycle, bro. They don't care.
Yeah. They're like,
we just adults now.
Right.
Like, that's wild. But some of the things that I think are facing the young kids, I think it has a lot to do with like social stuff, like in person, like connection, like lack of connection. And I could be wrong about that because I don't know. I mean, I mentor a group of kids with a local nonprofit organization. It's a youth diversion program, and it's pretty insightful as well. But I think the connection piece is part of it. I'm trying not to be skewed because the population that I work with is very like a particular type of young person.
Right.
But from what I observe, I think the kind of the social elements can be weird sometimes. I wonder about emotional regulation. Just because there's so much information coming in, and everything at this point on screens is designed to elicit some type of response or some type of chemical reaction, which to me it can't be healthy.
Right.
Like that can't be healthy. Like there's just these synthetic things that are making our brains go crazy. That another link back to that depression and anxiety and ADHD, those numbers increasing. But emotional regulation, like social skills, like just reading up, like picking up on nuances, facial expressions, things like that. Critical thinking, I get very curious about because there's so many tools that you can use where you don't have to necessarily think critically, and you could get through, right? Like if you're not motivated to learn the thing or to go through the process to get good at something, then you can very easily still just put out some garbage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like you trying to cut corners, but you can't cut corners in your life. And people try to cut corners on everything. You can cut corners on homework or a paper.
Yeah, that's right.
But when you try to cut corners in real life,
it's not happening.
It's not happening. And then, like I want to go back to what you said about, social media and how they are. It's like, the geniuses, the evil geniuses of social media, which, I mean, again, it's a tool. But it's literally like the rats in the lab.
Yeah.
When the rat can push the button and get the food, it's like the same exact thing with social media. It's like we just keep pushing the button, and then it's like once you stop pushing the button, you don't have that dopamine. Well, and it's like you got to keep pushing it, I
wonder if like, just like with anything else, after a while, like that dopamine hit isn't the same.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get desensitized.
Yeah, so then they either have to kick it up or, I'm curious about whether or not there'll be a pendulum shift where I have a theory And I'm saying this in 2025? It's not 2026 yet.
Yeah.
2025, I'm saying this in 2025. I think that Gen Alpha, Gen Beta are going to be like anti-social media.
Yeah.
I think that. I want that at least. I mean, you know, if I have anything to do with it.
They're going to be the rebellious ones.
Yeah, just because like it's old, bro. Like it's tiring.
Yeah.
Like, and then now that there's AI, there's just so much garbage. Like I don't really trust anything I see on the screen these days at all.
Right.
I was reading or listening to something. I don't know whose interview it was, but they were mentioning about how since everything is now streaming and no one owns physical content anymore, and it's owned on someone else's server, at any point they could go and like edit it. And now we have the Mandela effect, right? So like there may be something that happened in a movie where they're like, we don't know if we want to show that anymore. And then they just change it under our nose. And then we watch it, we like, hold on, wait.
Right.
But there's no way to go back and check because the shit is streaming.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And that's scary.
Yeah.
They can rewrite history that way.
Everybody thinking they crazy. Like, I know I'm not crazy. I know that this was this back then. I know that this was that.
Right. Siri listening right now.
See?
Fans watching.
All right. Wow, we just went off on a whole tangent about mental, but it's all good. I want to get back to Lyftd.
Yeah.
So what were, you know, obviously having a brand or any type of venture is going to be some challenges.
Yeah.
So what do you think were some of the bigger challenges getting Lyftd off the ground? See what I did there?
I do see. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Getting Lyftd off the ground. I mean, we still aren't off the ground. Like we're coming towards the end of a cycle of challenges. I think I'll say the biggest challenge that was holding Lyftd back, if I'm completely honest, was me. I needed to grow. I didn't realize. Again, when I started doing the T-shirts, I was just making the T-shirts, right? I wasn't expecting all that came with it, and it's not like, you know, like I got super wealthy or super famous or anything like that yet, but I saw it coming. And before I even got there, I let it go to my head, right? And so there were, you know, some paths that I went down that I got distracted. Also kind of some internal, you know, team stuff that I probably could have led better. But as far as challenges, yeah, I mean, I think I was probably the biggest challenge, but also too, it's just time. Like I started a company at 18 with no idea and no money, and so I can't, like I said, we're not off the ground yet. All of the challenges that we overcame has made me stronger as a leader and pulled my team together to form a stronger team. I'm very grateful that they have kind of stuck with me throughout this my personal leadership journey. But I'm at a place now to where, although we are not off the ground yet, I am like 1,000% confident that I have what it takes to take this brand. Because when I was 18, I had big dreams. Like, I'm talking, okay, so we start off with Lyftd Clothing, then we go Lyftd Skate Team, then we go Lyftd Production, and then now that's music and movies, right? All of this is within the brand and understanding of Lyftd, like Virgin Airlines. And then I'm reading Steve Jobs, I'm reading Elon Musk, I'm reading Richard Branson. I saw that all these dudes are kind of assholes. And so, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. So to be a successful entrepreneur, you kind of have to be an asshole, and you don't have to care what other people think. And I still think those things are true, but there are boundaries, there are limits. Like, I can't just be out here living in a way that makes other people feel a particular way, especially if the whole meaning of the brand and wellness, or the whole meaning of the brand, and I will say at this point, my life's purpose is to inspire and encourage others. I can't operate in that way. Right. So where I understand now, I can't necessarily care what other people think. That doesn't mean that I live in a way to where I'm just being disrespectful and rude to other people.
Yeah, exactly. I think, someone told me once about entrepreneurship and personal development. Yeah. They go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Your business is only going to grow to the level that you are as a person.
Right.
So you can't be a terrible, shitty, horrible person and then expect your business to, grow, exponentially.
Well,
Well, what I mean is, like with the personal development, a part of that is also, you know, who you are as the entrepreneur, who you are as the head of the company.
Absolutely.
So if you're not on top of your game,
Yeah.
if you're not doing your follow up, if you're not making the connections, if you're not putting in that work on the personal development side,
Right.
then it's not gonna grow to that level.
Absolutely.
Now, you know, to your point, Steve Jobs, these guys, they are assholes.
Yeah.
But they did the right. Yeah, they did the right things in the right areas.
Right.
Even though they were, you know, assholes to probably the people closer.
Sometimes it's what it takes, though.
Yeah,
sometimes
for sure.
it's what it takes, and I can understand and respect that and appreciate that now. I think it's about time and place.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be like, you know, to my team when we're having candid discussions, I'm not gonna speak to them the same way that I speak to my girlfriend, or, you know, not that I have a girlfriend currently. I want to be clear, I don't have a girlfriend, but
allegedly.
No, it's not allegedly. I don't have a girlfriend.
Okay.
But I'm not going to speak to them. You know, I'm not going to. Then I wouldn't speak to them the way that I would speak to my coworkers. You know, so it's just understanding time and place and understanding my role in a discussion. Kind of helps navigate that.
So was there ever a time where you felt like, you know what, I'm done, I'm about to quit?
Yeah.
Remember a moment like that?
Yeah, I mean, there were a couple of times where I've had that thought where it just, for me, it was just, and again, like, I'm glad all of these things happened before the money got really big or before the brand got really big. But there were just times where I just hit walls and I was like, bro, I don't know what to do. Like, is this even worth it? And I submitted to that. And I think after college, I got depressed because, like I said, like, I kind of let some of that stuff go to my head, and then I got out of college and it wasn't like that. And it kind of fueled a depression. And then there were other things that I distracted myself with that probably made the depression even worse. And so around that time is kind of where, you know, things were kind of falling off a little bit, and I just kind of let it fall back to the wayside, because I started recognizing, like, sustainability problems, and, like, I was like, well, why make t-shirts to go into a landfill? Like, it just, to me, didn't make sense. But then, you know, kind of coming across some of the media that we created with Lyftd, right? Like my TED Talks that I gave in college, like, that was about looking back to your childhood in times of uncertainty to see what you were interested in, and let that be your new passion, or let that find some direction. I said that at 18 years old, bro. I didn't. How did I know that? Because I listen to that stuff now and it means something to me. You know what I mean? Like,
you're talking to yourself.
Exactly. We have a commercial. The commercial says, as kids, we're taught that the sky is the limit, but as we grow older, we let the weight of the world hold us back. How did I know that at 18? You know what I mean? And so the fact that those things, and you know, our poster here, and the purpose behind the brand is what brought me back from my depression. Let me know that it was real. I'm not the only person who it can impact this way. And to be honestly, the whole process is therapeutic for me. And this is my offering to the world. This is my legacy. And so there's a new drive behind it, a new mission. Like, it's not about selling clothes. It's not even about me. It's about the community. I have a team behind me. It's about making sure that they're living out their dreams and executing in the way that they want to execute. And then really creating a channel or platform for others to express themselves through the brand. You know, so.
Right, for sure.
But the question was, did I feel like stopping? Yes, there was a time, a period, maybe 3 to 5 years, where I felt like where I did stop, and that's why we're on this 14-year journey. And then when I, you know, got my job back and kind of got things back in order in my life, then there was a little bit more space. I recognized that, this is my life's work.
Gotcha. Now, can you describe, you know, who your brand is for? Obviously, it's for, you know, people that want to look good. You know, I like that shirt.
Thank you.
So of course it's for that. But you know, when you think about the people who have a message, it's very clear who that message is for. If you listen to J. Cole's music, you can kind of understand who he's talking to.
Who would it be?
Who would J. Cole's music be?
Yeah.
To me, I think it's for the kids who wanted to go a different path.
Right.
who saw things that maybe they thought that maybe they wanted to be a part of, like the street stuff.
Yeah.
You know, hip hop, that's what it was for a long time.
Right.
But the kids who love hip hop but didn't necessarily want to be a part of that.
Right,
You know,
right. Because that's not hip hop.
Or, well,
It's not all of hip hop.
And that's not all exactly.
They try to make it
That's
seem
what they
like
push
it
out.
is. Yeah.
So, you know, it's to me, it's the kids who went to college, the kids who love the music but didn't necessarily live that street lifestyle, have that street element.
Yeah.
That's what when I think of J. Cole's music, that's the kind of listener I think that he has.
Yeah.
It's probably since grown now because he's such a big artist.
Absolutely.
Especially in the beginning. So say all that to say, who is Lyftd for? Who is that clothing brand for, you think?
Yeah, so Lyftd, I mean, this is going to sound corny, but a part of it is for the kids. Like, it really is for the kids. Because, like I said, the things that I've learned in my life and the things that we're putting in place, and I see how it's impacting adults, like the creative visualization workshop, our meeting of the minds, discussion series, the yoga in the park, breath and paint or breathe and paint, which is a meditation / painting event. Those type of things, I see how they are impacting adults. And so I'm curious to see how it would impact children, to give them some of these skills and tools up front. So that's part of it. The other part is we are for creative and curious people. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to see a shirt and be curious about it or be inspired by it.
Right.
And then, I mean, if you want to get into the business demographics, like currently our focus is on college students and creative working professionals, just because those are curious and creative.
I could
people.
see that. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. Now, you know, we from Atlanta. So what role did Atlanta have in shaping Lyftd?
Man, Atlanta, wow. Like, so one thing, so I say I went on a path of depression, but during that time, I think I got my unofficial grad degree, like my unofficial MBA, like during that time. Because after college, I took about 1 or 2 years off and just kind of like, you know, I was on the scene, for lack of better words. You know what I'm saying? Going to art shows, going to music shows, you know, hanging out at a department store, I used to work at Sound Table. And so I spent a lot of time on Edgewood. And during that time, like, that's when Atlanta was becoming well, you can't even say during then, but I experienced and was a part of Atlanta's kind of, there was a cultural moment that was happening during that time. Like, that's when you had 2-9, that's when you had Key, you know what I'm saying? That's when you had Money Making Ink, all of that, like City of Ink. And all of those things are still around, but it's just that time was just very interesting.
Different.
You know what I mean?
It was different.
And so a lot of what Atlanta has done was me watching people, Earth Gang, we talking about, you know, Jid, Miriam Mariba, all of them. I saw them performing in front of a crowd of 5 to 10 people and then turn around and see Earth Gang opening up for Clips. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so watching those stories and observing them was inspiring, but also too, like, just the energy of the city is what inspires, because it's like there's so many people doing so many cool things, and not everyone has the biggest budget. Like, things are really accessible here to create, which is also another cool thing. And then the other part is just collaborating, partnering with people. But I've gotten a lot of inspiration from a lot of Atlanta community builders and creatives, and just being kind of in the background or you know, working or just being at an event. But now I'm looking forward to kind of stepping to the front of that. Not saying that I'll be the best, but now kind of carrying on that legacy.
Right.
You know, if I was gonna say if tastemakers allow, but I don't believe that. Regardless of what they think, I'm going to do it.
Right.
But I'm I'm happy to carry on the legacy of, like, independent creative community building.
Gotcha. Yeah, Atlanta's definitely the place for that. Like, Atlanta's it's different. I mean, other cities is cool, but I mean, it's nothing like Atlanta, man. I'm sorry.
You're absolutely right. It's very unique.
So, you know, a lot of times, you know, I've spoken to hundreds of entrepreneurs, business owners, and usually there is one person that is on their journey that they can say gave them their biggest support, who has been that person for you throughout this 14 years?
Biggest support? Like in life or
For your,
for the brand?
Yeah, for your brand or life in general.
My co-founder, Evan Owens, has definitely been...
Shout out to Evan.
Yeah, facts. Shout out Evan. Definitely been a very strong, supportive fixture in my life. Even when we first, so we met as roommates freshman year in college. And so back then, we were just having a good time. But then we worked together on a promotion team called Team Millie. And the guys who founded or started Team Millie went on to find or discover Rory in the whole Love Renaissance movement. So they left, from my understanding, they left Evan in charge of kind of like Georgia State operations, and we worked together on that. And even back then, he was just kind of like very structured, detailed, organized person. And me, I'm like this chaotic ball of like creative energy and passion and vision.
Right.
Since then, between my job and, further educating myself and just training myself, I've gotten a lot sharper. But yes, Evan has always been a very supportive person in my life. He inspires me, and then he also challenges me, but he holds me accountable. And
it's important.
That's important. Yeah, for sure, especially for growth.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Shout out to Evan, man.
Facts.
Now, who comes up with the designs, man? How do you do that? Where does that whole thing come from?
So the designs, the ideas mainly come from our product manager, Leslie. So shout out Leslie as well. And so, it will either be, sometimes we'll collaborate on some things, but this kind of new identity and shape that we're taking on is really kind of her vision. She has a vision for kind of a minimalist, clean look that highlights just kind of the brand. And then like picking colors that makes it kind of like not the statement piece, but just kind of like a piece that you can put along with another fit. Like this, you know what I'm saying? Like this whole, the idea is to be able to layer it and kind of style it with anything. And it's not anything too crazy, but you're wearing it because of what it represents what it represents to other people. So Leslie definitely, I've and that's been another part of my leadership journey as well. Like being able to just let it go and trust that she'll get it done, and she has, and she's done very well. She has a very good eye for it.
Yeah, delegation is important, especially when you have somebody trusted, right?
Right.
You gotta delegate at some point,
Yeah.
All right, my brother. Now this interview has gotten a little deep, so I want to kind of lighten it up a little bit. Let's have some fun real quick.
Absolutely.
All right, so I'm gonna just ask you some questions, some this or that questions, some fun, playful questions. And
this or that.
Yeah, and
Nice.
you just give me your thoughts. All right.
Can I take a sip right quick?
Yeah. Go ahead,
water,
do your thing.
Some agua.
All right. Let's see what you think about these things. Hoodies or crew necks?
Hoodies.
Okay. Minimalist designs or loud graphics?
Minimalist. It depends. It depends on the. That's hard because like when you get tour merch, some of those are very loud, but like, it's tour merch,
Right.
But like, you can't wear that everywhere. That's a hard one. I got to pick between one or the other.
Yeah.
I need more context.
All right.
I think on a day-to-day, I'll go minimalist.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go minimalist.
All right. Earth tones or bright colors?
Earth tones. Damn, that's hard too. Because it depends on the season. It depends on, because I like my earth tones with my dark bright colors. Look.
Well, yeah, true.
But I think earth tones are probably, again, on a day-to-day. But usually I'll do like, an earth tone, and then there'll be some type of statement. So my hat will be something that's a different color, or my shoes, or maybe they'll go together type deal.
Got you. All right. Baggy fit or fitted?
Definitely more baggy these days. I've been in the gym a little bit, and so I can't really do fit it the way that I used to when I was very slim. Not saying that I'm not slim now, but my body kind of fluctuates with me being, working out and trying different things. And so I like the baggy look, but obviously when it's time to get suited up, definitely like it fitted.
Okay, all right. Sneakers or boots?
Love a good Doc Martin. Love a good Doc Martin. Yeah. But sneakers. I wear sneakers more often.
Okay. Cargo pants or denim?
That's another one where it depends on. It depends on the time, like what's going on. Like, I prefer the cargo pants. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Like, I love some good, nice, loose cargos.
Yeah.
Like, those are leggings for me. You know how girls like throw on the leggings?
Yeah.
Like, I'm throwing on cargos, bro. Right.
All right, so cargo, all right. Winter drip or summer drip?
Winter drip or summer drip? Can I say fall drip? Because fall is like...
That's cheating, man.
It's cheating.
Yeah.
All right, I'll say winter because you can layer up.
Okay.
And when you got the layers, you can play with textures. And then when it's hot or when it's cold, you can play with textures too.
Gotcha. Okay. Studio photo shoot or outdoor natural light?
Oh, for me or for the brand?
For the brand.
Outdoor natural.
Really?
Yeah, like I like storytelling with the pictures, and so whenever you see a picture from us, it is relatively intentional.
Okay. Streetwear or athleisure?
Streetwear, athleisure. I have to go streetwear.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, streetwear.
What you was expecting me to say, athleisure?
No, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. All right, drop collections or evergreen staples?
This is for other brands or for Lyftd?
For Lyftd.
Because our strategy is both. Like our Atlanta Brains, that's our staple piece. That's the one that we're never getting rid of. But everything else will be like theme-based collections. And then these shirts too, like these are going to be, staple as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
then,
for sure.
We'll have like theme-based collections based on different ideas or themes throughout wellness. Now, we have not done that yet because these past couple of years we've really been focused on building the community and then kind of also building like our internal structure. Because what I learned in college and in high school is making the t-shirts is the easy part.
Oh, yeah.
And honestly, selling the t-shirts can be easy to a point. But I want to build a community wellness brand. And so we decided to focus on community wellness, get that structure in place, and then start making the clothes. So coming soon, you'll see more theme drops.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you gotta get an exclusive.
Right.
All right, designer shades or gold chains?
Oh, man, I just saw a pair of Casellis. Cazelles, I think is what they're called. Cazal. Glasses. I went to the Talib Kweli show on Friday. Shout out to my cousin T for taking me. And he had on those Cazelles. And I was like, they were just so hard, bro. So I would have sunglasses. Even though you're going to lose them.
Right, yeah, for sure.
You're going to lose them. But sunglasses for sure.
Okay, all right. Vintage thrifted or brand new retail?
There was a period where I thrifted a lot. Now I do just a lot of online shopping. Depends. It depends on the piece. I prefer like I usually typically have a deeper connection with a piece that I got from thrifting though.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
the journey.
Right.
Just finding it and then like the finding something that fits you well and then you wonder about the story. Like who had this before?
Right.
What did they wear? But I think I more frequently buy things online now. I mean, them Instagram ads be eating me up, right? I cannot lie to you.
They got you, man.
They be getting me, bro, every time. Every time.
Yeah, the thrifted, it's something to say for imperfection.
Right.
Imperfection kind of adds character element to the piece.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, if your brand had a theme song, what song would it be?
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
Dum 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 dum. Let's get lifted.
Okay. All right.
Lifted.
All right. All right. All right. I'm gonna license that.
Uh-huh.
What's the biggest fashion ick you've ever seen?
Biggest fashion ick. Ooh.
Yeah, I see you thinking of one.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something now.
Mine is.
Y'all gonna hate me for this, but them polo boots, bruh. When them polo boots was out, bruh, I could not stand them, bruh.
What?
I could not stand them, bruh.
Oh man, you from Atlanta? Where you from?
I am from Atlanta, bro.
Okay,
I could not get behind it, bro.
Hey, Dro, y'all get him, man.
I told y'all I was gonna hate me for that,
Right.
but yeah, nah.
Mine is niggas sagging and showing they boxers, man. Come on, man. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I will say the skinny jeans with the sagging and the small t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like if you gonna sag, at least wear a big t-shirt,
Right.
bro, but I'm not trying to see all that.
Right. Yeah.
You know
Do
what I'm
better,
saying?
man. Do better.
Yeah. I don't really care for shiesties either. Y'all gonna. It's just why, bro.
Yeah,
it's,
y'all be looking.
It's 90 degrees outside, bro.
Yeah. Y'all be looking dangerous, man. I gotta
You know
stay
what I'm
away
saying? I can't describe you if I need to.
from y'all. Right. Right. What's one unpopular fashion opinion you stand on?
One unpopular fashion opinion. I would imagine a lot of my fashion opinions are unpopular, but I don't know if I have like crazy fashion opinions. There's a part of me that's like I don't really care for like high-end brands like that.
Okay.
I do like the things that Pharrell's doing with Louis Vuitton though. But yeah, I don't. So although I have the community wellness brand Lyftd, I'm more of a business guy than a fashion guy, to be honest with you. That was another reason why I thought I wanted to stop Lyftd. I recognized how some people were like really into it. And I was like, for me, it was more about the business and the impact, and it still is. But yeah, I don't really have any like fashion opinions.
Okay. All right. All right.
Again, for me, it's about expression, curiosity, creativity. So I enjoy watching people express themselves, unless they're wearing polo boots.
Okay. Polo boots taking shots right now.
Took a couple strays, huh?
Right. All right. What's the funniest DM you've ever gotten about your brand?
I mean, you know, them automated DMs where it comes from the wholesalers in Pakistan. It'll say some stuff that don't make sense, like "Good afternoon, ma'am or madam or sir," and I'm like, y'all couldn't even.
Right, you can't tell, right?
Yeah, like so those are funny. I feel like we got a suggestion back when I was in college. Again, this was college, but you know, someone suggested that we make panties, and then I had the. Never mind, we won't go there. It's a family brand. But I thought that was pretty funny.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that was pretty funny.
Lyftd panties.
Interesting. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Describe the perfect Lyftd fit in 3 items.
Perfect Lyftd fit in 3 items. I mean, Lyftd tee, Atlanta Brains. It can be the Atlanta Brains tee. Honestly, you know, it could be. Honestly, this is kind of the perfect Lyftd fit right here.
Yeah, you put it together well, man.
Thank you. Yeah. So,
together.
you know, t-shirt, pants, cardigan. Because again, it's like this is like these are the pieces that catch the attention, but this is just kind of like the piece that kind of pulls everything together.
Right.
Also, with the it would be interesting to have like an athleisure collection for Lyftd. We considered it. It's expensive to make athleisure clothes. But so we would obviously have to make sure that there's a demand there. But I think that, you know, like a Lyftd tank with some type of like yoga leggings or something like that, or even for me, my Lyftd tank and, you know, some compression pants and kind of like nice fitted running shorts and some nice shoes.
Okay. So when you look forward on your brand, when you're 99 years old, and I guess you'll be looking back at that point. When you look back at what Lyftd has done throughout your career, what do you want to say that you were able to accomplish?
I definitely want to say that we were able to make a meaningful impact on culture and society. And I know that that's broad, but it's broad enough to be life work. And when I say meaningful impact, I guess to get a little bit deeper is that we created everything that we created had some type of meaning, and we created things that had I keep saying the word impact, but that's just what it is. Had an impact on the people who experienced the things. And I've said this before, but I remember when Kid Cudi's first album came out, Man on the Moon, and I was like in high school, and just kind of, that's back, during that time where I was watching my mom go through the things. And, his album put words to how I felt. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know how to express it.
Right.
And so I heard the album, I was like, this is how I feel. So hopefully we can create something that does that for other people.
Right. That's a noble goal right there. And I think that it's definitely possible, definitely doable. You're already doing it. I'm sure, you're mentoring some these kids, and I'm sure you're having a big impact on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Now this show is called Another 24, right?
Uh-huh.
And the reason it's called Another 24 is because that's the biggest blessing that we can get, right?
I agree.
That's the one thing that every human being on the face of the planet can agree on. Because we don't agree on much, but we can all agree that we want another 24 to, fix our mistakes, to right or wrong, chase our dreams, start a new path, continue down the same path, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a young man watching everything you're doing right now. Mm-hmm. He wants to start his own brand. He sees Lyftd Clothing, and he's like, you know what? I think I could do something similar. Now, he might be struggling, though. He might want to quit. He might want to give up. If you could take 30 seconds to look at that camera, speak to that young man, and give him some advice to keep him going through his next 24.
For starting a brand or growing a brand.
Yeah, let's just say, let's say he's starting, growing a brand. He's seeing you do your thing, and he wants to do the same thing.
Yeah, so my advice, is to come work with Lyftd Clothing Company, because then I can just teach you everything you need to know. But no, realistically, understand, take the time to be thoughtful in what you are expressing, and be thoughtful of how it's impacting others. Look back into your life, into your story, and figure out pieces of it that are really meaningful to you and that are unique to your experience, and use that as the maybe foundation of the brand. The bottom line is, at least in my experience, money is not enough to motivate or drive you to perform at the level that you need to perform to actually grow a brand. That's been my experience. So develop some values, like understand what your purpose is, and create from that perspective. Another thing that's good about having values is it gives you boundaries. Like it helps with your decision making. It helps guide you. And so I guess the bottom line is, for the advice, is just develop values, understand your values, your principles, what's important to you, and move within that.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, man. So you talked about your event coming up. Is there anything else that's on the horizon for you guys? Yeah, man. Next year, 2026, is the year of the brain. We will tell you more about that, but you'll follow us on Lyftd Clothing Company at lyftdclothing.co. That's Lyftd. Replace the I with a Y and drop the E. Lyftd, Lyftd. Again, the Instagram is lyftdclothing.co. TikTok is also lyftdclothing.co. And you can watch our journey during the year of the brain. All right. Now I understand you brought some gifts, man. Tell me what you brought through for us. Absolutely. So you've already seen this one. So we have this poster that you can hang up here in your studio or in your office at home, just something to inspire you. This poster is definitely one of it's one of my favorites personally. I have this in my office. It just reminds me again that everything that is created, everything that we are surrounded by, anything that has impacted us or had an impression on us, started off in someone's mind, and they just put action behind it. So it's all possible. It's really possible to make the type of impact that you want to make.
That's yours. And then we also have from our upcoming new release or second release of our Atlanta Brains hoodie, because I know you're from Atlanta, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this is the staple piece I was telling you about. This is the piece where, you know, if we're thinking about an album, like in our collections being different songs on an album, this will be the single. This is the single that we're pushing.
Hey.
So when we talk about the 2026 being the year of the brain, really our goal is to get 5% of Atlanta in this design.
5%. Oh, yeah, we can make that happen.
Yes, sir. We're going to need your help, though. We're going to need your help.
Yeah, that's hard, man. It goes perfectly with the Braves hat and some nice jeans. I already got my white forces, so I already got my fit in.
I was about to say, whatever you do, don't wear it with polo boots, bro.
And there we have it, Malcolm, man. I appreciate you. This has been a very interesting conversation. Anytime you want to pull up, you got something going on, you got a drop coming, definitely hit us up, man.
Absolutely.
And I'll be pushing the brand on future episodes.
For sure.
So,
I appreciate that. Well, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you reaching out and taking a chance on us. So thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man. This is a good one, and I appreciate you, man. I can't wait to see what y'all do in the future. And we're going to be supporting you, brother.
Absolutely. Same.
All right, man. That's a wrap.